Allah has a very unique style of speaking in the Quran. So when He speaks about different stories of the prophets, He speaks in unique ways about each of them. But sometimes He uses very similar language in one story, and then you find the similar language again in a very different story. And something like that happens between Nuh alayhi salam and Musa alayhi salam. So I want to start with Musa alayhi salam. When Musa alayhi salam went up to the mountain, Allah tells us in Surah Taha that when he went up to the mountain, Allah told him, not only is He about to give him the revelation, وَلَقَدْ مَنَنَّا عَلَيْكَ مَرَّةً أُخْرَى. We had already done favors to you many times before this. Allah has been doing favors to Musa alayhi salam for a long time. And so He started reminding Musa alayhi salam, when your mother put you in the basket, when your sister was walking on the side of the river, when you were raised in the house of Fir'aun, when we reunited you with your mother, كَيْ تَقَرَّ عَيْنُهَا وَلَا تَحْزَنْ, so her eyes could become cool, so she could find comfort again. I did you the favor of reuniting you with your mother. Then you killed someone, and you escaped, and we tried you in many ways. And so all of these different trials that he went through, Allah makes a list of all of them, and then at the end of all of them, the part of the plan was he will get married in Madian, he will go in the desert and live there for a while, and then one time he will get lost in the desert and he will see a fire on top of a mountain, and he goes and tries to see what, maybe he can get some directions there. This is where Allah was having this conversation with him, and He says to him some interesting things. He says, one of the things He says is, وَجِئْتَ عَلَى قَدَرٍ يَا مُوسَى. You came here right on schedule. You came here exactly according to plan. So all the things you went through were part of my plan, so you could be here at this moment. But part of what Allah says to him also is, وَأَنَا اخْتَرْتُكَ لِنَفْسِي. I have chosen you for myself. And another really beautiful thing, the thing I want you to focus on now, is He says, وَلِتُصْنَعَ عَلَى عَيْنِي. So you can be crafted, and I'll focus on the word tusna'a in a second, you can be crafted under my watch. Meaning, crafting, when somebody works with wood and they make a table, and when somebody works with metal and they make a sword, and in different kinds of works, you have to do craftsmanship, you have to have artistry, to cut the angles properly and to mold it properly. People do a lot of suna' when they are making a pot, or when they're making utensils, right? So Allah is describing someone being crafted or designed. So Allah is telling Musa alayhi salam that all of those experiences you had were part of you being designed. So you know how in engineering there are stages of product development? And you have to go through one design phase, then the next design phase, then the next design phase. It's like Musa alayhi salam's life was being engineered by Allah, and every part of the design, every one of those experiences was part of the design, so you could be ready for your real mission. And in this is a really beautiful lesson that the experiences that we go through, they are part of Allah's design to help engineer us. Because we are like the human beings are like a baby is like raw materials, right? It's like raw materials. And as Allah puts us through these experiences, actually each one of those experiences starts building our understanding, builds our maturity, builds our experience. Sometimes you develop strength by going through pain, right? Then I told you that Musa alayhi salam said, Allah says to him, you will be so you could be crafted under my watch. And then you find a similar phrase in the story of Nuh alayhi salam. When you look at the story of Nuh alayhi salam, and Allah told him to build this ship, which was a strange instruction, because there was no water anywhere nearby. Why am I building a ship? And nobody even knows how to build a ship. Nobody, because they're not a people that live next to the sea, so they have no reason to know how to build a ship. So Allah gives him wahi and He says, وَاصْنَعِ الْفُلْكَ بِأَعْيُنِنَا. Engineer the ship under our watch. Musa alayhi salam was told, I engineered you under my watch. And Nuh alayhi salam is being told, engineer this ship under my watch. And so this phrase is similar between these two stories also. Now, let's focus on Nuh alayhi salam for a couple of moments. When he was being told to engineer the ship, then everyone around him, they already called him crazy. They already insulted him for many generations. In fact, some of the things we learn in the Quran, the hints that we get, is that people used to disbelieve in Nuh alayhi salam, and then they would get married. Young men disbelieved in him, young men and women. They got married, they have children. They bring their children and say, don't listen to this crazy old man. And then those children get older, they get married, they have children, they bring their children and say, my dad told me don't listen to this crazy old man. So generations and generations used to insult Nuh alayhi salam. But now, after 950 years, Allah is telling him, build a ship. And they're looking at him building a ship, and we told you he's crazy. This is the craziest thing he's ever done. Right? So one of the big allegations against Nuh alayhi salam is that he is insane. By the way, that same accusation was made against Musa alayhi salam also. He was called insane also. But anyway, so he's building this ark, this ship, under the watch of Allah. But while he is building it, the more he builds it, the more people make fun of him. Every day he's working on it. You cannot build the ship in one day. You cannot engineer it in one day. You're working on it. And Allah it's almost as if, when you design something, especially construction project, engineering project, and we know it's big enough that it's going to fit human beings, it's also going to fit animals. So it's a very large construction project, right? So you have to have blueprints, and you have to have a schematic, so you can put the right pieces in the right place, and you have to have structural engineering even. All of this has to be taken care of. Allah says, وَحَمَلْنَاهُ عَلَى ذَاتِ أَلْوَاحٍ وَالدُّسُورٍ. In another place He says, we boarded him onto something made up of boards of wood, planks of wood, and nails. It's as if every board of wood and every nail was designed by Allah, put this here, put this here, put this here. So everybody else is calling him crazy, but he's working according to the design Allah has revealed to him. But what does that mean for you and me? You see, the Prophet ﷺ is being told that sometimes and through him we're learning, when you do the right thing, when you follow the command of Allah, when you stand by the truth, when you stand by what is just, when you don't allow corruption to happen under your watch, when you call it out, whenever you do that, it requires sabr. Because whenever you say the truth, somebody gets angry. If you say the truth to your mother, she'll get angry. If you say the truth to your wife, don't try this at home, she'll get angry. And so what did the Prophet ﷺ get told? وَاصْبِرْ لِحُكْمِ رَبِّكَ. This is sabr actually. Sabr is, I'm going to stand by the right thing no matter what happens. No matter what people say, no matter how much they attack me. In fact, in this surah right before this, أَمْ يُرِيدُونَ كَيْدًا. Are they planning, are they scheming, are they making a plan to hurt the Prophet in some way? Is that what they're planning? Let them plan. You just do what your Rabb told you. You keep doing that. But when you do that, it's scary. It's scary. And so what Allah tells His Prophet ﷺ is that yes, they will attack, they will insult, they will even, by the way, they did try to kill the Prophet, didn't they? Before he could leave Mecca. They tried to kill him, ﷺ. So it will get more and more serious. But just know, even when they're trying to kill you, you are under our eye. Allah is watching. And this being under the eye of Allah is actually a very loving phrase. It's a phrase of, it's not just, oh, we're watching you, like, like a security camera watching. It's not like that. It's much more loving than that. Like a mother who takes her child out, and she's a little baby, 2-3 years old, he's walking a little bit, and the mother, every 2-3 seconds, she's checking if he's still there. Or if he lets go of her hand for a quick second, she immediately gets it again. Because she needs to keep an eye on the baby every second. This is bi'ayuniha. It's under her eyes. Or bi'aynayha, under her eyes. And so when the Prophet ﷺ is being told Allah is watching, Allah is telling him, you're never alone. When you think there are so many of them and there's so few of the followers, they have so much power, I have nothing. No, you have Allah with you. So you وَاصْبِرْ لِحُكْمِ رَبِّكَ فَإِنَّكَ بِأَعْيُنِنَا. What that means for you and me again is we've got to be strong. And we've got to keep doing the right thing until it becomes impossible to do the right thing.